When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
Basically, like he said, I'm less fortunate, so I can't go out there
but you may be less fortunate in the head. I mean, but if you got $300 in your pocket for the luxury of a TV, why don't you just live within your means? That's not a matter of, quote, less fortunate. Less fortunate are people who don't know where their meal is coming from, okay?
This is the plaintiff, Michael Jarrell. He says he did a good deed for a guy in need and laid out money for a new TV for the defendant because he was in a rough spot. He also bought stuff for his baby. The defendant promised to pay him back $50 a month, but hasn't. So here they are, as hard as it is for him. He's suing for $1,094.30 for the TV, a baby car seat, baby food, and baby clothes. This is the defendant, Drew. He says the plaintiff was sweet on his cousin and was going out of his way to get over with her. The guy offered to get him the TV to impress his cousin, and that's gross because he's like 60 and she's only 23. When she rebuffed his sexual advances, he got mad and all of a sudden started demanding money for the TV. Oh, him? No way. He's accused of taking, but not giving. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for harassment.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Michael Jarrell, you are suing Drew. You've asked us not to mention your last name for $1,094.30 for a TV that you say he owes you for, plus a car seat and some baby items. You have a counterclaim against him for $500 for harassment. All right, let's talk about your claim against him first. How did you come to buy this man a TV?
First of all, he was less fortunate than I am. And by being a Christian, doing to others as you'll have them do unto you. And on top of that, ma'am, is that we have an army saying, liberate the oppressed. There it is right there. I didn't want to see him down. He needed a television.
Nobody needs a television.
He needed one.
People need to eat.
Oh, yes, ma'am. All that
Okay,
too.
people don't need a television.
Yes, ma'am.
So you felt that he was less fortunate than you, and out of the goodness of your Christian heart, you decided to buy him a television?
No, when he asked me.
What did he ask you?
Yeah, he said, Mike, could you look out for me to get me a television? I said, all right, Drew.
How come I cannot? Hey, can you look out for me and get me a television?
As soon as somebody gets one for me, I'll get
then you get one for me. Okay, how does that not happen to me? Does that happen to anybody else? Like you just walk around asking people for a TV? There had to be. What was the deal? Like how were you guys good friends?
Yeah, we was friends, ma'am.
Okay, according to him, you were wooing his cousin. You were trying to go out with his cousin.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am. We was friends. She was like a daughter to me, and that's how he came into the play. The other stuff is obsolete, you know.
Obsolete?
Yeah, there was no wooing or none of that.
No, nothing. You weren't trying to date his cousin?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
It was like father. She was less fortunate, too. That's where I made my mistake at, Your Honor.
What was your mistake with her?
They're trying to help people that's less fortunate than myself.
How much money did you funnel his cousin's way in your effort to help the less fortunate?
I can't count that, ma'am. You don't put a price tag on friendship.
Well, you did. It's $1,094.30. What do you mean? You
I know what you mean, no, but not
here,
like
aren't
that,
I?
man.
All right, and if you were trying to help the less fortunate, you were trying to help them by what? Giving them a loan, I guess. That's why you're here suing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so according to you, the agreement is that you would buy him a TV, and what would he do?
He should pay me back $50 a month, which he did.
All right, so what day did you buy the TV?
February 26th.
Of what year? This year?
Last year.
Last year. Okay. And when did you file this lawsuit?
I just filed it in September.
And so did he ever pay you $50?
No, ma'am. Okay.
What is it that's going on here with this TV?
Basically, I had called my cousin Alex to take me to errands so I could rent a TV. I asked her to give me a ride because he was lending her his car and he was gonna also purchase her a car. He showed me a $16,000 check that he was gonna purchase her a car. So
did he purchase her a car?
No, because she wouldn't have sexual relations with him.
Okay.
So, and I have her letter right here. She couldn't be here today.
Let me see her letter. Go on.
And so I called her and I asked her, can she bring me to errands so I could rent a
Aaron
TV?
rents.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she pulls up to my apartment with him in the car.
I'm sorry, you were gonna go rent a TV
From Aaron's.
So how much money did you have in your pocket?
I had $300 in my pocket.
Okay, why don't you just go to Walmart and buy a TV for the $300 you have? Because you had to have some big screen TV that you couldn't afford?
I was gonna rent it. I couldn't afford it if I rented.
So yeah, but you were gonna rent it, so you're gonna put $300 down and then rent it. You think that's a good deal? Renting to own, you think that's a good deal?
I mean,
you know the kind of suckers they take on that? I mean,
basically, like he said, I'm less fortunate, so I can't go out there
but
and
you may
buy
be less
it.
fortunate in the head. I mean, but if you got $300 in your pocket for the luxury of a TV, why don't you just live within your means? That's not a matter of, quote, less fortunate. Less fortunate are people who don't know where their meal is coming from, okay? Drew asked me to take him to rent a television from Aaron's at the time. Sergeant Michael. He's Sergeant Michael?
Yeah, that's what we call him, Sarge.
Because he was in the service?
Yes, ma'am.
Took the ride with us to go rent the television. We get to Aaron's and we were looking around the store and Sergeant said to Drew, we don't rent things, we buy them. Well, I gotta agree with that. Drew then said to Sergeant, I don't have the money to buy the television I want right now. Sergeant said, don't worry about it. Your family with Alex, you don't have to worry about it. Then we went to Sears and Sergeant bought a 50-inch 50-inch television for Drew. He never said to Drew that he had to pay him back for buying him the television. Drew then why are you accepting, you grown man, accepting a TV from another grown man? Because you could? The answer is because you could?
I mean, I said no at first, and he demanded it, so...
Drew then thanked him over and over again for what he did for him and his family. Okay. So you have a 50-inch TV, and you don't have to pay a penny for it because it was a gift from him because he's trying to get into your cousin's pants.
Right.
Okay. When did he first, according to you, start demanding money for the TV?
Actually, I don't remember the day, but the night she spent the night at his house and he was trying to have sexual relations with her, she had left and called me that night and told us what happened. So I say like a week later, he started asking about
Right, but that was when in relation to the purchase of the TV? A week later, a month later, 5 months later?
I say like a week later.
A week later?
Yeah.
So a week later, he said to you what?
He said, I need that $300 for my TV now or whatever. So I'm like,
Why
what's going on?
$300?
Because I told him that's what I had in my pocket the day we went to Aaron's. I was going to give him the $300.
Okay.
He said, no, keep your money in your pocket.
So he was, according to you, he was playing big man on campus that day.
He called himself the $1,000 man.
Do you call yourself the $1,000 man?
No, ma'am.
Where does that phrase come from?
I don't know.
Okay, and according to you, he calls himself that. Why?
Because he got money. He drives. He driving around. One time I was driving with him. He hit somebody in the back. Got out the car to see if it was okay and gave them a $50 bill.
Okay.
It's like he's just throwing away money.
No, but he calls himself the $1,000 man?
Yeah, that's what he called himself.
How do you know that?
He told me that.
Oh, he told you. All right. So now you're also suing for a baby car seat and baby clothes and Similac for me. Tell me about that.
But that, although they riding in my car, by law, you can't have a little baby riding in your car without a car seat.
Okay, so don't have the baby ride in your car.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
But I don't understand. What did you do?
So I purchased a baby seat because everybody was friends and family in the beginning, quote unquote. So I'm trying to look out for them.
Okay.
And so I get smacked in the face. Ma'am, hey, I done learned my lesson by letting people money.
Can I tell you? You know how I live my life? I don't buy my friends. And
Yes,
then I don't have to worry that they're with me for the money.
Yes, ma'am.
I make them pay their way.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
that way, it's really an equal friendship. That's what I've always done. Like, I just don't, I don't want to think anybody hangs around with me because, what I consider less fortunate are people who are struggling, who don't know where their next meal is going to come from. Not somebody who really, really wants a 50-inch TV and can't get it. That's not less fortunate.
Well, ma'am, all that's an equation, too.
Yeah.
All that's an equation. I didn't have food and all this.
I don't understand. Your original lawsuit never had anything about a car seat or baby formula or any of that. So why does he have to pay you for it now if you bought it because you're all friends? Was there ever an agreement that he was going to pay you for that?
No, ma'am.
Right. Okay. So now, as to the TV.
Yes, ma'am.
Was there ever an agreement that he was going to pay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can you say there was never an agreement? Your cousin sides with you, not surprisingly. Do you have anything to prove that there was an agreement for him to pay you back? For example, a text, an email, a witness, a payment that he made one payment.
No.
Nothing.
None of those above, ma'am.
Now, you have a counterclaim against him for $500. What is for harassment? What's that about?
Well, he's in the Army, and he had told me one time when I came to his house to talk to him that he could see me through his base through satellites. I'm not in the Army. I don't know if it's true. It freaked me out. Then he calls me because I had an incident in my house. He calls me and say, "What is going on in your house?" Like, that right there really freaked me out. Wait,
what did he say?
He said he could watch us through the satellites, through his base, wherever he go for the Army. Through his base, he could watch through my house and see what I'm doing.
You think the Army base is looking at you?
Man, Judge, to be honest, I'm not in the Army, and yesterday I was talking to my friend, and he said you could actually go on Google Earth and look on satellites and see through people's windows.
All right, listen. So why are you suing for $500?
Because he's harassing me. Like, I can't even have sexual relations with my fiance because I don't know if he's looking at me or not.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So I'm giving you guys an option. Either rent a 50-inch big screen TV or you can buy a 27-inch television set.
I think I'd buy it.
Why?
Because I want to own it. I don't want to be throwing money away and renting something.
But you got half the screen.
But I want to own it.
What do you think?
I say you rent the big one.
Why?
I run with a crew called the Ciroc Boys, and you bring them over and press them. They're going to come back, get more Ciroc. Know what I'm saying?
I actually know what you're saying. It really bothers me, but I know what you're saying.
Why would you want a small TV when you can have a big one?
Because you're throwing money down a rat hole when you're renting it.
Well, it's not like we can see the small one.
God, what an attitude. I'm sorry I feel that way going inside the courtroom.
He's thrown off your mojo. That's why you're suing him for $500. Your mojo's only worth $500?
I don't even like to be over at that apartment no more. Because I really think he's watching me.
Okay. All right. Well, I would love to award you the $500 so you can use it for therapy, but that does not a lawsuit make on your counterclaim 0. And on your claim against him, you're the plaintiff who comes into the courtroom with a burden of proof. You've got a situation where you say, I did not throw money his way because we were friends or I was trying to impress a young girl. I loaned him money. He says, oh no, he threw money at the girl, he threw money at me, he threw money at the car seat and the baby formula, he threw money everywhere, he's money bags, he's, the $1,000 man, he's a show off, and it was a gift, and since it was a gift, I don't have to pay him anything. I need you to prove your case, because you're the plaintiff who comes into the courtroom with the burden of proof. I need to see something.
One thing I have with my receipts,
No, that proves you bought a television set, which is exactly what he says. Yeah, he bought me a television set.
Yes.
I need to see proof of the loan, whether it's, God forbid, a promissory note, where if somebody grabs the nearest crayon and the nearest roll of toilet paper and says, I owe you, God forbid. But if you don't have that, something to prove up your version versus his, like a text or an email or a witness or an affidavit from a witness, something. But you've got nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I do show you showering items you don't expect to get paid for because A, you've admitted in court, and B, you didn't originally sue for it, and then now claiming that it's a loan and that you need to be recompensed for it. I just can't do it. Based on this evidence, I rule in favor of the defendant. And on your countersuit, 0.
Okay, so the plaintiff comes out here, sir. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. What about this case here? What have you learned out here?
I learned that you should, don't help people that's less fortunate than you. You get beat every time.
Really?
Can't do street justice, right?
No.
Can't do street justice.
No.
So I'm going home then to my new home with a swimming pool in the backyard.
All right.
Let him go back to the projects.
Let me ask you one last question before you go.
Yes, sir.
You have a moment?
Yes.
All right. The story he's talking about with spying on him with the satellites, and can you actually watch him?
Well, you know what? You got to be special forces to know about that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, out here.
All right, sir. All the best.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, step on in here. You didn't win on your countersuit either, but what do you make of the situation here with him?
I'm just happy the judge saw it wasn't what he think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish him the best. My cousin is happy. She's married with a baby on the way, and all best of luck to him. And yes, I will be going back to the projects.
All right, Harvey.
But it's really simple. Based on the plaintiff's conduct, everything looked like gifts. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. You're ready to move your business forward, but first, you need to find the right team. Start your search with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It can help you reach qualified candidates fast, ensuring your listing is the first one they see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. See the results for yourself. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee.
I found this great place to stay this weekend.
Click on the link and book it.
Oh, wow. McAfee alerted me that this site is fake and even blocked it.
Cybercriminals create fake sites to steal your passwords and financial data. McAfee identifies and blocks these sites to keep you safer online, so you can book your trip without worry. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
This is the plaintiff, Ramon Crum. He says he's in the real estate business, and the defendant owes him a commission on an apartment he found for him. The defendant agreed to pay him the 1-month commission, and this is simply a case of a crooked guy trying to cheat him out of his rightful money. So he's suing him here and now for the $3,330 he's owed. This is the defendant, Nicholas Hardy. He says, in exchange for the plaintiff's commission, he agreed to guide him through the process of obtaining a general contractor's license. And that's just what he did. The plaintiff's a scammer who doesn't even deserve a commission to begin with. And he's not about to be royally duped by anyone. He's accused of foregoing a fee.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says he found an apartment for the defendant and got stiffed in the commission. But the defendant says he bartered with the plaintiff, offered to help him get a contractor's license. It's the case of don't hammer me over my commission.
Okay, Ramon Crum.
Yes.
You are suing Nicholas Hardy.
Yes.
For $3,330 that you say he owes him owes you for a broker's fee that he has refused to pay.
Yes.
What's going on?
Your Honor, I met the defendant, I would say maybe a few months ago. He helped me to obtain my license, home improvement contractor's license.
How did he help you?
Basically, he conducting a course in order to help to prepare you for filling out the paperwork, studying for the exam, going through examples.
Did you pay tuition for the course?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I paid for that.
Okay.
Prior to taking a course, was able to obtain my license, and then I never used the license, but then I ran into the defendant when I was renewing my license. And when I was renewing my license, we had a discussion about, when are you going to start getting involved in construction. I said, I haven't had time. I've been busy doing real estate, but maybe we should meet, have lunch, and then we can discuss that. I sent the email, and when I contacted the defendant, he said, hey, coincidentally, I'm looking to move with my girlfriend, and I could use your help in finding a place. I said, okay, great. That's not a problem. The normal fee is 50%.
How do you say that to him? This is all through text, through email, through how?
Through email, through text messages, verbally.
In the email text messages, he agrees to pay a fee?
In the text messages, not only does he agree, but he also makes attempts, like telling me, well, we just moved in. It costs a bit more than before.
So according to you, you tell him, what are you going to do for him? Were you going to reduce your rate or nothing?
I was reducing my rate.
To what?
To just 1 month's rent.
Which was how much?
Which is $18.50.
Why are you suing for $33.30?
Because one, he was delinquent on that amount.
Okay.
I had to take days off from work to prepare for this case. And the maximum from the real estate board.
Your agreement with him isn't 15%. Your agreement with him is $18.50.
That's correct.
All right, so now, so you tell him that you will do that, and then was he supposed to do anything for you?
The only thing he was supposed to do for me was that we were going to meet later on, discuss, some ideas as to getting my construction business off the ground. That was it.
Okay, discuss some ideas. What does that mean?
That means have dinner or lunch, and basically he was going to tell me which direction I should go. So it's going to be all verbal.
So you find him an apartment. Are you the girlfriend? Okay, so you find him an apartment. From the time that he asked you, I need an apartment, to the time you find him an apartment, how much time passed?
He needed to move by the end of October. I was able to find him a place on my birthday on the 21st, and he moved in on the 30th.
When did he tell you I need a place?
He told me he needed a place, I want to say around October the 4th or 5th.
Okay, so within a couple of weeks, you found him a place?
Yes,
okay.
Which was not easy. Well,
why was it not easy?
Well, first of all, this was the first time he was living in Manhattan. Manhattan has certain requirements where you have to have a certain income. 40 times the rent is the norm. The other thing is that if you do not have 40 times the monthly rent, then you need a guarantor. So at first, the defendant thought that they would be able to be approved through using the girlfriend's income as well, but
she's a self-employed. What do you do? Can you stand up by your man?
I'm a student.
Stay there. You're a what?
I'm a student.
I thought you said I'm a stripper. You're a student. So what employment was she going to show? What income? Do you work?
Well, I have a credit card, the payment. I mean,
no, that's not income. But
I don't have any income.
Right. So how was that going to happen?
Her income will make a difference with an agency that would act as a guarantor.
There's no income. What would make the difference is that he gets an agency on board that would act as a guarantor. That would make a difference. But her income there is no income.
Well, the agency, their process is that they not only just use your income, but they also use like assets, collateral.
Okay.
They have other measures that they will use. Also, they charge you a fee, which is like
Is that how he ended up getting an apartment with a guarantor?
Yes.
With a corporate guarantor.
With a guarantor that I recommended.
Okay.
And then from there, he was approved for a certain amount. Then after we was approved for that amount.
Okay, so he gets the apartment, and then what happens? Why aren't you paying him?
Over the phone, that first telephone conversation, I did not call him. He called me requesting my assistance. And that's when I said, coincidentally, I'm also looking for help. And that's when we agreed to exchange services freely. I told him
Free? He wasn't going to make any money?
I told him I'm not looking to pay a broker's fee. My services aren't free as well. It's typically services that I charge for,
I'm just asking you, are you saying that he said to you, I will not charge you?
He said, quote, "Here's my promise to you. There will be no fees except the 1 month deposit and the first month's rent that you'd have to pay to the landlord."
Deposit and rent aren't fees at all. What do you mean, except this? The only fee would be a deposit and rent? That's not a fee at all. That's zero to him. That goes to the landlord.
Precisely. Well, those were his exact words.
Did you ever say that to him?
No, I did not.
Okay. And how are we going to figure out which of the two of you is lying? Show me those texts.
Okay.
Go
Your
ahead.
Honor, I challenge the defendant to give some demonstration that before October 31st, he gave us any indication.
Let me just say that typically speaking, when a broker gets you an apartment, you pay the broker. Your defense, which you have the burden of proving, is that it was supposed to be free.
Right.
You don't have a written broker's agreement, or we wouldn't be having this discussion.
That's correct.
All right, which was your error.
Yes.
Okay. Those are the only times you see yourself in court is when you brokers do not get a written agreement. And then you wanted to show me some text because that's usually where I can find the kernel of who's telling the truth. Let me see the text.
So here's the deal. Plaintiff is saying he owes me a commission. The defendant saying I paid him by getting him a contractor's license. Does he get the money?
I don't think so. If there's nothing in writing, why bother?
Well, because he did do the work. He did find him an apartment. What about that?
I don't think so. It's not in written language, then we can't take it.
But there's some agreement because they both agree there was an agreement. It's just whether the dude gets paid or not. Does he get paid?
Well, unfortunately, whether or not he's telling the truth, the fact that it's not in writing, there's nothing you can really do to prove that.
Wow, this is a tough crowd going inside the courtroom.
What'd you say in text to him? Did you say something incriminating?
For myself, to some degree, yes.
To some degree, yes. Why? What am I going to see right now?
When he texted me on October 31st demanding payment, I spoke with my girlfriend, and we had come to the conclusion that we got the short end of the stick. It's the old bait and switch, so to speak. I was rather irate, but my girlfriend was a bit more philosophical about the situation, and she said there might be other variables that you're unaware of. The defendant is probably getting pressure from his employer to issue this invoice or task for payment. Since it's not an exorbitant amount of money, and the defendant is a friend, you should consider paying it. So I said, okay, we'll pay it. We were very grateful for the service that we received.
You know how that's always happening? Somebody says, I'm not going to charge you, then they give you an $1,800 bill, and then you say, oh, okay? Like,
you know,
because silence in the face of an accusation like that is kind of incriminating for you. If somebody says, hey, when are you going to, let me see where it is. Here we go. There it is, October 31st. Hey, Nick, how was your trip? Just checking when you would like to come to the office to pay $1,850. And the response is not, what are you talking about? This was a quid pro quo where you give me your free services, I give you mine. I'm going to do XYZ for you in the next few weeks. And instead, here's what I hear. Or I read, it was good. We are moving today. I'm going to need a couple of weeks on the fee. As you know, we have several $1,000s tied up in deposits. I will get it to you as soon as possible. How is that shock and outrage at someone charging you something they said would be free? How is it anything but you agreeing that you owe him $1,850?
Well, I have three explanations, Your Honor.
Because you've had some time to cook it up?
No, absolutely not. First of all, I'm from Wisconsin. We're very non-litigious people.
Okay.
Second of all, as I had explained, we were satisfied with his service.
With the service that was supposed to be free?
Third of all,
You weren't too satisfied because you never paid the guy. All you did was brush him off for a few months.
Third of all, since the defendant was still requesting a service from me, then I said to myself, well, I'll just charge him at the time I rendered my services to him.
Two things. I cannot make full payment tomorrow. I can pay $500 tomorrow and probably the rest next week. I have friends moving to New York City who want to explore rent to purchase options. Can you help? Well, not only has he not paid you, but he wants you to work for free again. My office, 1118. My office wants to find out when they can expect the cashier's check. Soon. We're selling the car. Once we have the cash, we can pay you. It should be a matter of days. Then a matter of days pass. Okay, I will pay him full today. End of story. Send me the check details. still waiting for details about where you want the check delivered. And then he gives you the details, and you say, got it. Oh, did you get it? Did you get a check after these texts?
No, I didn't. Did not, Your Honor.
Did you ever talk to him? Or did you just file suit because you've had it already?
I filed suit because my employer tried to get in touch with them, dodging everything. I mean,
Mr. Hardy, how should I look at this as anything but you just don't feel like paying your bills? When every single response from you is, oh, yeah, as soon as I can. Oh, sorry. Oh, just give me a little more time.
Your Honor, for argument's sake, let's consider that those texts are an indication that either our previous agreement never existed, or it's a new agreement that supersedes our previous agreement. That last text...
Are you from this planet? I think we've had enough. This has been fun, but we're done. I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,850. You can't change the contract because you're angry. $1,850 plus your filing fee. I think he always owed it. He knows he owed it, and I think he just tried to cheat you out of it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, finally, the plaintiff has collected his broker fee. What's your reaction to losing this case like that?
Yet I'm quite surprised because I have fairly incontrovertible evidence that he lied to me. And I believe, since I can demonstrate that he lied to me, that I can demonstrate that's misrepresentation. And as misrepresentation, whatever agreement that we had or didn't have should be declared null and void.
Where are you pulling this out of?
I, as a matter of fact, spoke to the responsible person of the brokerage yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
And he told me that we have no complaint against you because you never signed any agreement or piece of paper with us.
Yeah, okay, sign the piece of paper that's waiting for you around the corner there, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, sir, so step on in here. How you feeling coming out of this courtroom? What's going through your mind here?
Pretty great. I'm glad that I feel like, justice was served finally. It's a shame that I didn't have him sign a contract to go through all this. That's my fault.
How would you describe this particular client?
Like I said, we were friends at first.
Right.
I mean, if you could believe that I would have a friend like that, but I didn't know that character existed. So this is like news to me. So, but I'm glad with the outcome. And
right. Let's go to Harvey, please.
Okay, well, as these fine folks behind me said, that when you barter, it is especially important to get it in writing because it's really going to be difficult after the fact for the judge to somehow figure out some weird agreement that two people had. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by NBA on Prime. This Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, it's the Emirates NBA Cup Championship game on Prime. This year's quest for the Cup has been building to this, the championship game, live from Las Vegas. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to get started today. The Emirates NBA Cup Championship game, this Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern, only on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
This is the plaintiff, Roy Del Morris. He says he brought a car to the defendant's shop for a transmission repair. The guy did a shoddy job, which caused the transmission to flood with antifreeze, and it rusted the thing out. Now, he's faced with a $5,000 bill for a new transmission, and the inept defendant should be made to pay for it because the damage was his fault. This is the defendant, Gerald Koenig. He says that transmission he installed for the plaintiff's Acura is covered under warranty, and he offered to replace it. The plaintiff told him the car was in South Carolina, and he wanted it repaired down there by Acura. He offered to tow the car up to a shop in New York at his expense, but he refused. Well, he's sorry, but he tried his best to help this guy out, but his hands are tied because the plaintiff is being stubborn. He's accused of having trouble with a tranny.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff brought his car to the defendant for a transmission. Says the job was so bad, everything rusted out. But the defendant says the transmission for the Acura was fine. It's the case of the tranny that was highly inaccurate.
Roy Del Morris?
Yes,
you
Your
are
Honor.
suing J&J Automotive, doing business as A1 Transmission, represented here by, you're the owner, Gerald Koenig?
Yes.
Okay. For $5,000, the cost of a new transmission that you say you had to put in as a result of what you say is shoddy workmanship on his part. Tell me what's going on.
I was recommended to A1 Transmission by a neighbor of mine, he's a mechanic, and they're reputable, so I said, okay. I took my car there with the transmission.
What kind of car?
It's a 2006 Acura TL.
Okay.
And he towed it there in December. He told me $1,500 to try and anything that's wrong, the parts I got to pay.
It's $1,500 to what?
To rebuild the transmission.
Okay.
And the parts he has to repair, I have to pay the cost of it. First time I took it, cost me $2,600.
Okay, do you have the receipt?
I have a receipt for 3 times I took it to him.
3 times?
Yeah, 3
okay,
times.
so the first time you took it to him, it was $2,600 to rebuild. Let me see what it was for. So the first time you took it to him, it was with tax. It was $2,645.02 to R&R Trans and Rebuild. That's remove and repair?
Yes.
The transmission and rebuild.
Yes.
Okay, but you rebuilt the transmission of the car?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and then what happens? That occurred December 21st. Then what happens?
In May, it had the same problem with the vehicle. I called a mechanic. He says it's not an engine problem, it's a
Is there a warranty on this?
Yes,
how long's the warranty?
I have 3 warranty I got for a year warranty.
For 1 year?
Yeah.
Okay, so in May you bring him the transmission. And by the way, who's driving the car?
My wife's car.
Okay, so in May you bring him the transmission and what?
He said it's not his fault. Somehow there was a hose that runs, it was leaking. And my radiator was bad, and that's what caused the water to leak and burn the
What
transmission.
happened the second time? In May, what was it that you fixed?
When he came back in May, the thermostat housing leaked the antifreeze out of the coolant from the engine. He overheated the motor and cracked the radiator and burned the transmission up because it overheated, because it had no coolant in the antifreeze to cool the transmission.
What did he do wrong?
Well, it leaked. It wasn't our fault his thermostat housing leaked. He ran out of antifreeze and overheated it.
So it's not keeping enough antifreeze in there?
Not keeping enough antifreeze in it. The antifreeze cools the transmission fluid. It runs through a cooler. When he ran it out of antifreeze, he burned the tranny up. It's not our fault. The transmission didn't go bad. The radiator went bad and burnt the transmission up.
Okay, and then you charged him $1,000.
I did him a favor. He paid for the parts and I did the labor.
Well, how's that a favor? You mean because you gave him a cheap price for labor?
Well, I should have charged him full price to rebuild it. It wasn't our fault the transmission burned up.
So $1,086.25 in May.
Yes.
And then, according to you, you have to bring it back in July. Why?
The same problem I had with the transmission. It burned up again, I called to him. It wasn't going in gear and everything, so I had to bring it back to him because I had a warranty on it.
Right, and the warranty was lasting until when?
For a year. It was for a year.
1 year from the prior December. So why in July of 2013 do you charge him another $2,430?
Because in July, if you look at July's bill, in July, his trans cooler, the tranny cooler went bad and filled the transmission with antifreeze.
What's the tranny cooler, and why wasn't that something that you replaced when you did the work 7 months early? I mean, the guy's paid more to you than he ended up. Stop a second. You ended up, after 3 tries, you ended up. The car was where? In some other state?
My daughter was driving to school because her car wasn't working. So
she drove it to what state?
She was going to South Carolina, school
and then in South Carolina, she took it to Acura, and Acura put in a new transmission.
You know what happened? She was driving in Virginia. The car started acting up 2 weeks after he fixed it.
2 weeks after the July?
Less than 2 weeks, yes.
Okay.
Less than 2 weeks, he started acting up. She called me. She was on the street. She and her friend driving to school. So the car was acting up, and she was crying because there was 2 young ladies going to school like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I told her, try and get off.
Don't drive at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's the first advice, but go ahead.
Yeah, so she got there, and they got a AAA to tow it to her.
In Virginia?
Yes.
And so did the Acura dealership in Virginia replace the transmission?
They did, after the...
To the tune of how much money?
$4,500 and change.
Okay, that was in August. September, October, November. Any problems?
No, it's since the dealer did, I replaced it because they say it was a shoddy job. The bolts
do you have something from the dealer saying it's a shoddy job?
Yes, right there, the dealership.
Oh, you do?
Letter is there.
When vehicle arrived, found transmission fluid dark and burnt and leaking from transmission case. Transmission slipping between gears, has difficulty engaging reverse, will slip and then slam into gear. Began to drain fluid, metal shavings and fluid. Burning smell is burned clutch material, needs replacement of transmission. Found multiple issue with work done prior by third party. Found a broken bolt in the rear engine mount bracket, missing one bolt on the top of the transmission. Numerous wire attachments are missing. Secured harness best as possible, repaired coolant leak at bottom of throttle body. I mean, the guy brings a car to you 3 times and pays you a total of $6,000 something dollars. I mean, more than what it costs to have Acura do it in the course of 7 months of the 1-year warranty. Then Acura does it and boom, it works fine.
Yes, well.
And Acura says that you didn't put it in right.
Okay. The 2 times he came back, it wasn't the transmission fault. The transmission burned up.
Well, so say you, but you understand that's where the problem lies. That he's saying, look, this is all, I bring it to him. I ask for a new transmission. I got to keep asking for a new transmission and paying for a new transmission each time. And then you say, oh, I'm doing you a favor. But the guy paid you over $6,000 for a transmission. He paid Acura how much?
Correct.
How much did you pay Acura? $4,500.
Yes.
Acura's transmission works like a charm. Your transmission caused them to have to bring the car to you 3 times in 7 months.
Yes.
I mean, maybe
correct.
it is you, like Acura says it is. But the car is worth, what's the Blue Book value of this vehicle? Because I'm fascinated by this. The Blue Book value of the vehicle is what? The Blue Book value of the vehicle is $8,300. You've spent over $9,000 on transmissions on this $8,300. Yeah.
Let's go 10.
Does somebody really love this car more than they should?
My wife.
I've had cars that I love more than I should.
My wife, she loves it, and she has to go to work, If she don't drive her car, she has to drive my van, which I have to take the train.
Okay.
So I got to get it fixed.
Okay, what's better, a used nice car or a new cheaper car?
I'd say a new cheap car because you know nothing's going to be wrong with it when you buy it, and you're going to not have any problems with it for a while.
That's a pretty good argument. What do you think?
New car.
New car? Anybody used car? Like used Mercedes versus new Kia?
Absolutely. Old nice car.
A 10-year-old Mercedes?
10, 15, 30, I don't care.
Oh, we'll talk later. Going inside the courtroom.
So what did you pay Acura? $4,592.01?
Yeah, plus the money I had to send my daughter when she was at school to come back. She had to take the train up. The problem was in Virginia.
But that's not his fault.
No, I'm saying I have to pay the expense.
Yeah, but that's not his fault that you took the car away from his, you know what I'm saying? That was your choice. All right, I'm going to order you to pay him the amount that it took him to fix the problem that you had 3 tries to fix. I am not buying that, this is something they did wrong over and over and over. This does not normally happen like this. $4,592.01. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's your fault, says the judge and says the evidence.
Hey, what can I tell you?
What can you tell me?
It is what it is. It's on the warranty. He didn't want to bring it back.
Well, how many times does he have to bring it back and it keeps going bad?
The first 2 times wasn't our fault.
That's what you keep saying. That's not what Acura said.
Well, Acura is Acura.
How many trannies have you serviced?
Oh, I've been doing this for years. This is the first problem I'm having with a customer.
All right.
We're in business 47 years.
47 years. All right, right down this way. Okay. All right, so step on in here, sir. All right. You satisfied how this comes out?
Yes, I'm satisfied with it, thank God.
How would you characterize his work?
Well, as the dealer said, a shoddy workmanship. I have nothing against the man, I'm just thankful that the judge worked it out the way he is.
Why did you choose him at first to do this?
He was recommended by a friend of mine across the street who's a mechanic that said his company used their transmission for jobs like that.
Friend of yours, you're going to have a word with that friend?
Well, it's a neighbor. He's not a bad guy.
Harvey?
This was so smart that the guy goes to the dealer to confirm that there was a problem with the repair. Dealers generally don't have a dog in the fight, and that is golden evidence. If you're having a fight with a repair shop and you go back to the dealer that made the car, that may be the best evidence you can get.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. One of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.